I'm going to show how to create some blend shapes for this head using soft select. And the first thing is that this mouth doesn't have a cavity. These lips are sealed. So first thing I'm going to do is build in a mouth cavity for this. And I'll just duplicate the head and move it to the side to work on it. Control D for duplicate, modify, freeze transformations. So I know, I can put it back to 0 to get it back in a position. I'll move this over to the side and show you what I mean here. This is sealed. I'm going to look at it from the inside and see that the mouth is sealed. And so I have to build in a cavity. I'm going to select a row of faces here. And extrude those inwards. We're looking inside the head right now. I kind of navigated to the inside of the head to do this to make it easier. I'm going to hit extrude face and then click on this little channel changer thing here to go to global axes and grab the Z translate here, move this back, whoops, there we go. And then I need to spread it out some, so I'll right mouse click edge, grab this top row of edges, W for move tool, move it up, double click on the bottom edge, move it down, select the faces again, and extrude again. Click the little channel changer guide to get my global axes and move this in, maybe scale it bigger here. And then one more time, move it back and scale it down. I could spend more time shaping that, but I think it'll be fine for these purposes. So now the mouth has a cavity, and can see some weird thing with that lip. It looks like maybe something's going on with the normals for that. So if I ever see that, I like to do normals set to face, and then normals soften edge, and usually helps. Didn't seem to change much. It might just be the way that's built. Alright, let's delete history, edit, delete by type, history, and now we have a mouth with a cavity, which is going to make making facial expressions much easier. So one thing that helps a lot is to use soft select, but I'm going to make this the base head. We'll get rid of the head that's on the character in a minute. I'll just call that base. And then I'll make a few duplicates, Control D, and move these over to the side. I'll just do a few examples. You can do more once you get the hang of it. So maybe we'll do smile. So I'll call this smile. And this could be open. And how about narrow? Okay, so let's start by using soft select. So I'm going to pick this, right mouse click, choose vertex, click here, and moving one vertex at a time is kind of difficult, but if I hit B for soft select, you see this yellow to red to black range around it, so you can see it's affecting a range of points rather than just the one. And if I hold down on the B key and then click and drag, you can see I can resize the range that's affecting here, and then I can adjust that up a little bit and tweak around here and make a smile. Now that's not the best looking smile in the world, so you actually have to spend more time modeling than just a couple minutes, but it gives you the idea of what you can use to make a smile. Now we said this one's going to be open, so in this case I'm going to start by selecting an edge. So I'm going to right mouse click, go to edge, double click on this edge. It's a little confusing with soft select on, so let's hit B to turn that off and see how much of an edge I've got. Our 4 for wireframe. Okay, so it's just picking the bottom half here. Let's put soft select back on and hold down B, click and drag, and get that to be a smaller selection. See what happens when I pull this down. It's not really getting the whole bottom half of the mouth down. Let's try this edge and turn off soft select B. So I was hoping it would do a better job of not picking the top half here. So let's pick this and this and this. So there we have the top. Let's control select these to deselect them. So I may not be able to use soft select to get this open, at least to start with. So I'm just carefully selecting the edges on the bottom half here, just double clicking, holding down shift and double clicking. And now I'm going to pull this open. Let's see what happens if we hit B for soft select. And it's helping a little bit. I don't really want that top lip to move though, so I'm going to have to deselect that. Okay. Maybe I'll grab this one too. Okay, a little more. That gives me sort of a starting point. Then I might go in and pick these vertices and now maybe use soft select. The things are a little bit more spread out. And now I can kind of shape it a little bit more. And again, this is really just sort of a starting point, but you can see how you can get going pretty quick. So let's say that's my open. Then we said we'd do a narrow. So for narrow, I'm going to select an edge here, double click, and maybe make my soft select a little bit bigger. B, click and drag. Make that bigger. R for scale, and scale that in. Maybe I need to pick more edges. Hit B again to turn that off. And then B to turn it back on. Oh, that's looking better. A little kind of an U shape. And that could be better, but that's a bit of a mess in there. But there's my quick narrow. So these are just some really quick and dirty blend shapes here. And I'm going to get rid of this head and replace it with my base head, and luckily I froze transformation before I moved it, so I can just put 0 on here, and then I'll select these three, select this one. These eyes look kind of crazy on him because he already has eyes. So before I do this, maybe I'll unparent these eyebrows. But if you're going to have eyes modeled in, these other eyes look a little crazy, so maybe I'll use those. Whoops, I didn't. How did I lose that? Oh. Just unparented these eyebrows. Selecting this group. Oh, it didn't like that. Let's now that these are, see if we delete history and freeze transformations. Let's break these connections. This will tear off the rig that was built for this, but break connections. Okay. And now freeze them. Okay, so that'll keep those around. Then I'm just going to hit this up arrow to select the group, delete those off. And I'll delete this head because I'm going to replace it with this one. But before I do these, I'm going to do mesh separate to separate the eyeballs from the rest of the head. Actually, it might be easier if we move it over first. Let's move it over first so the eyes end up in the right spot. And then mesh, separate. And I'll have to do the rest for that for these target shapes as well, or they won't work. Wait a minute, didn't we? I think I already moved that over. Whoops. Okay. Yeah. Mesh, separate. Okay. And then do the same for these. Alright, and since I now have separated them, I'll have to name them again. Smile, and open, and narrow, and call this one base. And then I'll select these three, and then select this one last. And then from the animation menu set, create deformers, blend shape. So now this head has a blend shape, and I really should have deleted history before I did that, so I can do it again. But you can see he can smile, and he can open his mouth, and he can do a narrow shape. So really what I should have done is delete history first, edit delete by type, history, and then pick these three, and this one last, and create blend shape. And you can see that, whoops, pick the wrong thing, there we go. You can see the blend shapes on there. And then I need to get this head connected to the body again, so I might just select, probably could get away with just selecting the root joint. Oh, these are, oh, that's already parented. Well, let's see if it's moving with it already okay. Oh yeah, it's moving with it. These don't need to be parented to the body, so I'll just do Shift P. And you could probably put those in their own layer just by hitting this, and I'll call it target heads. Target heads. Save, and then that way I can easily hide those. And you can always, do it again, make more. So you would need to re-rig your eyes and all that too to be able to use these. And then if you wanted to make a set of blend shapes for the eyes, you could do that as well, like to do a blink in here. Go ahead and duplicate the head and move it over. Now, if this is perfectly symmetrical, which I think it's not, you could do both sides at the same time. But what I would do for the eyelid is, I'll call this like left eyelid closed. You might be able to get away with just picking an edge here and with the soft select on. And let's just try scaling this close. It's probably affecting too much. Let's hold down B and decrease that a bunch. Try it now. That looks a little better. And it might need to kind of move out a little bit too as it closes, because it's really going around the eye. And so we can do a quick test of that. Create formers, blend shape. I have a separate blend shape for the eye now. That's looking pretty good. Probably touch up this area a little bit. You can actually change the target shape after you've created the blend shape, and it'll automatically update that blend shape, which is kind of cool. One nice tool to sort of fix areas like that is actually under the Surfaces menu set under Edit NURBS Sculpt Geometry tool options, and I'll put on Smooth here and turn off my reflection there. So I've got, this is the Smooth button, and I'll change the brush size. Hold down B and click and drag from right to left, and I can sort of smooth that out, and it sort of spreads out the points there, and Now you can see that when I do this blend shape, well, it's changing that a little bit now, but it doesn't look as pinched. Probably should have used a smaller brush and just touched the corner of the eye instead of that part of the nose. But if I want to delete a blend shape, I can go to Window, Animation Editors, Blend Shape, and then there's this delete button right here. And so I'll duplicate this one more time. And I can do right eyelid closed. So let's try to do that the same way. Pick an edge here, double click, R for scale, scale it down to close it, W for move, move it out a little bit. If I want to touch it up with the Sculpt Geometry tool to smooth it out, probably make sure I have a nice small brush this time. B for brush size, hold down, click and drag. Just sort of touch that a little bit, a couple clicks. Okay. So now I have a left, a left and a right closed. Let's rename this to right eyelid closed. And I'll select both of these. In the animation menu set, create deformers, blend shape. And now if I open up the blend shape window, Window, Animation Editors, Blend Shape, I have two separate sets of sliders. So here we go. So those are working. They're in separate blend shapes, but I'm going to delete them by hitting the delete button in the blend shape window because I want all of these to be in the same slider set. So I made that rest of the blend shapes visible, select them all, select the target shape last, and then create deformers blend shape. And now you can see they're all in the same set of sliders, so they can be used together without overriding one another. So that gives you an idea of how you could create blend shapes for this character.